അതെ, പകുതി പണം കൊണ്ട് വീട് പണിയാം. ബാക്കി പകുതി പണം പലിശരഹിതമായി EMI സ്കീമിൽ 50 മാസം കൊണ്ട് തിരിച്ചടച്ചാൽ മതി.
இது வந்து கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரு 10-hour ஃபில்மா இருக்கும். இல்ல நீ பார்த்தது கிடையாது, நான் சொல்றேன் அப்படிங்கிறது. That you should not do that. I'm only 41 now, and 16 out of 41 is a significant portion of your life. I'm sure now இந்த படம் ரிலீஸ் ஆனதுக்கு அப்புறம் அப்ப அந்த டைம்ல என்னதான் நினைச்சிட்டு இருப்பாரு, like it'll come to me like that. Yeah, and he would be sitting on top of the sand dune. There's a scene like that on the sand dune, and I'd be waiting at the
Is it coming? Is it coming?
Yeah,
it's coming.
Ready? Yeah, ready. It would be like that. But என்ன ஆச்சுன்னா, I lost 31 kilos and we started shoot and the pandemic struck and we had to stop shoot. His wife was 2 months pregnant and then he lands up in this place where there is no moisture in the air even. I just think that deep down there was a burning desire that whatever happens we will finish this film. That adu thappa irundhalu seriya irundhalu, if I make a mistake or if it's good or bad, I'd like to make them myself. My daughter's grown up watching me do this film. so Chiranjeevi sir kodu padathla oru important role. Sir, na vandu I've just committed to this film, which is like a big film and long commitment, and I have to grow my beard and also in between I can't do anything else. I'm so sorry.
ஒரு புக்கை கதையாக எடுக்கும் பொழுது இது வந்து மக்கள் ஏற்றுப்பாங்கன்ற ஒரு தாட் உங்களுக்கு இருந்ததா? ஒரு சேலஞ்சிங்காக அந்த ஒரு இது, வாட் வாஸ் தட் ப்ராசஸ் ரன்னிங் இன் யுவர் மைண்ட்?
Of course, that was அது வந்து even when I said yes to the film in 2008-9 itself, அந்த டைம்ல இந்த book was already a smash hit. Everyone in Kerala was talking about this book and about Najib's life. And எனக்கு personally தெரிஞ்ச விஷயம், not only in Kerala but even outside Kerala, like even in Bollywood and all, I know filmmakers were wanting to think of getting the rights and making a film out of the story. But as destiny would have it, and the rights கிடைச்சது பிளஸஸாக இருக்குதா, அவர் என்னமோ அவருக்கு வந்து நஜீப் வந்து நான் தான் பண்ணோங்கிறது he thought, and he came to me, and I'm very privileged to have had that opportunity. But both of us knew at the very beginning that the biggest challenge would be that there is this giant work by Benjamin, this unbelievable documentation and imagination that he had lent to Najib's life in the form of the book. But also வந்து ஒரு விஷயம் that both of us identified very early on is, உங்களுக்கு வந்து ஒரு புக்குன்னா it's actually printed literature இருக்கிற ஒரு பெரிய லிபர்ட்டி என்னன்னா, you can micro detail. You like a moment of somebody's life can be 20 pages in a book, and 3 years of somebody's life could be one paragraph in a book. So you can micro detail, and also you can very easily take a broader perspective of any particular moment of the narrative. And the liberty it doesn't lend itself so easily to a cinematic narrative when you write a screenplay or when you actually visualize. And also, if you were to make the entire book into a film, encapsulating every incident, every detail, இது வந்து கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரு 10-hour film இருக்கும். You can't do that, right? And so we always knew that we cannot really just take the book and make a film out of all that is there in the book. We had to make a cinematic version of Najib's experience. Secondly, in the book, what happens is, as you know, each reader would have seen their own Masara, their own Najib, their own Sainu, their own Nabil, all that. So one thing as a filmmaker we should be careful about, I feel, is that you should not challenge the reader. Like, நீங்க வந்து அவரோட இமேஜினேஷனை சேலஞ்ச் பண்ணக்கூடாது. இல்லை நீ பார்த்தது கிடையாது, நான் சொல்கிறேன் அப்படிங்கிறது. That you should not do that. So then what do? We identify what the man, the protagonist, felt, what he went through, and we try and recreate that emotional arc in the film. So the idea behind the film is to try and make you feel what we believe Najib might have felt. So we only hold on to the emotion. We don't hold on to your imagination or to our imagination. We don't hold on to detailing. As you see the film, do you feel what Najib felt? Do you, at least for the 2.5 hours inside the theater, feel like you went through a microcosm of that man's journey? Adudha idoda endeavor, and we've always not lost sight of the fact that is the only way to be doing a film like this.
பட் இப்போ நீங்கள் சொன்ன மாதிரி நஜீப்ன்ற ஒரு கேரக்டர் வந்து நீங்கள் என்ன தான் படம் முடிச்சிட்டாலும் உங்களுக்குள்ள அந்த இம்பேக்ட் இன்னமும் இருக்கும்ல. அது ஏன்னா அது அவ்வளோ பெரிய ஒரு ஜேர்னி இருக்கும்போது எங்கன்னா அந்த ஒரு ஷேட் திருப்பியும் பிருத்விக்குள்ள அது இருக்கா, எட்டி பார்க்குதா?
இல்லை, அது யூஸ்வலி I've spoken about this too. வழக்கமாக வந்து நான் I believe since I've been doing this for so long now and I've நிறைய படங்கள் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். So I think I've sort of mastered the art of disassociation. where ஒரு படம் பண்ணி முடிச்சா you learn to walk away from the character, you learn to walk away from the film, and it's important for an actor to do it, because or else you do so many different characters, you can't hold on to each character. But unfortunately, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to completely do that with Najeeb and Aadujeevitham, because I've lived with this film for 16 years. I've lived with ideating for this character for 16 years. I'm only 41 now, and 16 out of 41 is a significant portion of your life. So I'm sure now in the padam release aanadukku aprom innu oru 2-3 years aprom na engaya I'll be sitting somewhere doing something else. I'll suddenly think, appa அந்த டைம்ல என்னத்தான் நினைச்சிட்டு இருப்பாரு, it'll come to me like
Yes,
that. Yeah.
yes.
I'm assuming my brain is not wired to tell me, okay, the film is released, you can stop thinking of Najeeb now. I don't think that I'm wired to do that for this character. So yeah, like you said, I'm pretty sure that ஒரு கடைசி farewell, ஒரு final goodbye என்னைக்குமே இருக்காது, between me and the Najeeb inside me. But that's okay. If ever I had to harbor and carry one bit of a character inside of me, I think this is the one. Yeah.
Very true what you said was, because நிறைய படங்கள் நம்ம பார்க்குறோம், ஆனால் இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு படம், I wish Blessy sir was here. We really miss him.
Yeah, he's actually the star.
Yeah, but 16 years, I seriously don't know. ஏன்னா நம்மளுக்கு அந்த டைம்ல வந்து we'll think about, okay, why don't we go for another movie? There's quite a big break. But that man was so consistent, and I think அதுதான் இன்னைக்கு அதோட சக்ஸஸ் அப்படின்ட்டு வந்து நாங்க பார்க்குறோம்.
ஆமா, the magnitude of Blessy's commitment, அது வந்து முழுசா புரிஞ்சுக்கணும்னா you should also, I don't know how much the Tamil audience will know this, but when Blessy decided to do Aadujeevitham, that is in 2009, he was one of Malayalam cinema's most wanted filmmakers. And if I am not mistaken, he was the highest paid filmmaker in Malayalam. Any big star, Mammootty sir, Mohanlal sir, any big star, if Blessy wants to do a film, they do it. And all of us wanted to do one Blessy film, in our career. It's in that stage of his career that he decides, okay, for the next 16 years, this is it. I mean, of course, we didn't plan it to be 16 years. But at that stage of his career, when he would have producers and actors and people around him ready to do a film for him, with him, if he just said as much as okay, he never lost sight of the vision. He never decided. In fact, I have asked him in between, do you want to do something else? Anyway, sometimes like 2008-9, then around 2015, I think I've asked him, I don't think this year the film is going to happen anyway. So in the varsha eppadi irundhalum nadakadhu. Already it's been 3-4 years. Why don't you do another film? And he's telling me, illa idu vandu journey, Prithvi. You can't, andha mari oru journey pogumbodhu you can't lose your way. So if you lose your way, then maybe you will not find your way back to the correct route. So I'll just stick to this. And what kind of conviction will that man have had? What kind of laser focus? It's unbelievable.
He believes, he's got faith.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
he's a very, very spiritual man, actually.
yeah,
Maybe that helps. Yeah.
Indeed.
How was it to you, Jimmy, when looking at such a director like Blessy? Because the vision was very clear for him.
Yes, I've only realized that when I got to Algeria, because obviously I didn't know him before, and after the first meeting, I knew who I was dealing with. He's very calm, but knows exactly what he wants. He will take maybe a day to shoot 30 seconds, but until he gets what he wants, he's not gonna give up. So that requires a certain vision and really believing in your vision, because you're the only one believing in it, and you're carrying the entire cast and crew with you. And to have him as a captain, as a leader, it was refreshing, because as Raj says, he's very spiritual. So he's very easygoing. So he can take my hand and lead me anywhere. I'll just trust him. He's that kind of person.
இந்த ஒரு படத்துக்காக அப்படியே ஒரு டிரான்ஸ்ஃபர்மேஷன்ல இருந்தீங்க. Then for another movie you have to put on weight. திருப்பியும் you have to come. How is this possible?
One of the first things I realized as an actor is, நான் இதை ஒத்துக்கிட்டேன்னா I have to take up the responsibility. Because at the very outset, that doing this film, portraying this character, involves going through this physical transformation. My biggest fear always was, when the film eventually comes out, people should not see the film and think, Blessy should have maybe gone to a newer actor who was not so busy or something, who could have given more time to the film. Because இது a true story. ஒருத்தர், அது வாழ்ந்த ஒரு வாழ்க்கை இது. And that man is amongst us. He's still alive and well. So I also carry the responsibility of making people feel at least a bit of what he must have gone through. So I always knew that the transformation will be there and it would be a big challenge. But enna idu vandu and the six pack பண்ற மாதிரி கிடையாது. That I also have done, you know, like you eat a lot of protein, you lift heavy, you do your cardio. That I have done. This was just not eating. You know, you had to literally look like you did not get food and you were emaciated. And that was what I did. I did not eat. And I mean it in a literal sense because my transformation was largely based on fasting. I was just fasting. It was all then planned. I had a nutritionist, I had doctors on set, I had a trainer. But enna aachna, I lost 31 kilos and we started shoot and the pandemic struck and we had to stop shoot. And we had to suspend the shoot for almost 1.5 years or 2 years, which meant that avlo time I could not maintain that, you know, really less than ideal body weight. So I sort of had to give up and start eating. Then when eventually we knew that okay, we can start shooting in this month, I had to start again. So I did not count on having to go through the transformation twice. Adu vandu en plan la illada oru vishayam. Unfortunately that had to happen, but fortunately I was able to do it. I remember the second time when we were regrouping for shoot and I was about to begin my transformation and shoot was I think 6 months away. I remember telling Blessy, எனக்கு தெரியல, you know, what all I did last time I will again do, but I have my doubts if my body will respond the same way. You know, you never know, right? I mean, I can do everything I did last time, but what if my body doesn't respond? I was very afraid. But I think like maybe God was looking after me or something, you know. I actually came back to the same shape. We went to Algeria and we shot the portions with Jimmy and myself. Then we came back to Jordan. 2019 la vandu panna what we could not do, we completed that. And then we came back to Kerala and finished the film. Just one epic process actually.
இல்ல அந்த கான்ஃபிடன்ஸ் வந்து இப்போ நீங்கள் ஜார்டனில் இருக்கும் பொழுதே அந்த what was that one confidence all of you, the entire cast and crew I'm asking, what was running in your mind? இல்லை கண்டிப்பாக போயிட்டு திருப்பி வந்து we would give it a shot, நடக்கும் அப்படின்ற ஒரு கான்ஃபிடென்ட் நமக்குள்ளே இருந்தாலும் somewhere we'll have a question, no, whether this is going to happen or, you know, that's it. You know, what was running?
In all honesty, avlo confidence irundadilla actually. You know, when we had to stop shoot in Jordan and then we had to stay, we were stuck in Jordan for almost 3 months. The shooting permissions were denied and there was no international air travel. So we had to wait for a repatriation flight for a long time. And finally when we got a flight to come back home, none of the pandemic was at its peak and none of us knew how long this is going to be or what is going to be the world like on the other side of the pandemic. So I remember the last day when we were leaving the desert camp to go to Amman airport, Blessy and me talking to each other and we are just telling each other, இது வந்து நம்ம திரும்பி வந்து பண்ணும் இல்லை, கண்டிப்பாக பண்ணுவோம். We are telling this to each other, but neither of us know how or what, you know. I just think that deep down there was a burning desire that whatever happens, we will finish this film. And that was not just for Blessy and me, that was for the entire crew. You know, I think everybody very early on sensed that we are making something very special here. So அந்த மாதிரி படங்களில் வந்து what happens is everybody will automatically get a sense of ownership. இது என்னோட படம், இது வந்து I have to do it. So right from Blessy to the production boy on sets, all of them felt like we have to finish it. So I guess it's a joint you know, effort of putting it out there in the universe that, you know, please let us finish this, that eventually led us to the end.
Now, as you brought in about the location, I think it got to connect with the cinematographer. I think the visual, I think கண்டிப்பாக அதை பற்றி பேசியே ஆகணும். பார்க்கும் பொழுதே I think it's making the audience to come forward and just watch the film. The effects were like that. So tell about Sunil. No?
Oh, we have a genius of a cinematographer, Sunil. I have worked with him even before, and Sunil is an amazing cinematographer. Like, truly international sense of aesthetics, it's very, very good. Whenever I work with Sunil, I'm really surprised that he is not by now doing a big Hollywood production or something. Somebody has not spotted him because he's that good. Okay, I mean, he's not only with cinematography, but in general with shot design and lensing. And he's also a color technician himself, so he's just amazing that way. But the credit also should go to Blessy because of the way he's envisioned the film, the way he's conceived the film, and also his process of executing the film, of this absolute zero compromise. Like, see, when you shoot in a desert topography using natural light, the number one most important thing is to get the right light for the right scene. இப்போ வந்து if there is a scene in the story that happens at sunrise, we made sure it was shot at sunrise. And when I say at sunrise, sunrise na desert la vandu as the sun peeps through the horizon, peeps from the horizon, you will get that sunrise effect. About 10 to 12 minutes later, the sun is up and it's bright. So it's a very short dawn when you're in the desert. So when you see a sunrise scene in the film, it would have been shot across early mornings through 25 days. You know, every day morning we would go, we would set up when it's fully dark, and he would be sitting on top of the sand dune. There's a scene like that on the sand dune, and I'd be waiting at the bottom.
Is it coming? Is it coming?
Yeah,
it's
ready,
coming.
Ready? Yeah, ready. It would be like that. And we'd get like one shot. If you're lucky, we'd get two shots, and then the light is already bright. And we'd just say, okay, now we move on to the next scene. Next day, early morning again. And the same thing, if there's a scene that needs to happen in absolute top light where the sun is beating down and you need to feel like the desert is like really pressing down on them, we would shoot it like between 12 and 2 every day for 20 days, you know. So, andamari we had this approach towards making this film that we will get that right. And we got that right. On top of it, we had a genius of a cinematographer.
Yeah, and I think we need to talk about Amala Paul as well. I think அவங்களோட journey வந்து ரொம்ப வித்தியாசமான ஒரு விஷயம் இந்த படத்து மூலமா, and now I think she's got a happy life and all that. So சொல்லுங்க அவங்களோட அந்த work பண்ண ஒரு விஷயம் and how was
So
it?
I mean, when I met Amala for the audio launch of the film on 10th, we were joking to each other that it seems like our portions of the film were shot in another lifetime, because Amala's portion got wrapped in 2018. Because that was the first schedule we did. So the whole plan behind the shoot was that now like I'll put on a lot of weight so that when I lose weight, the transformation is even more dramatic. So I put on a lot of weight. In this film, you will see the thinnest ever me, and you'll also see the fattest ever me. So I put on a lot of weight, and we shot the Kerala portions. And we finished the Kerala portions, and Amala's portions were completely wrapped, and we all clapped and okay, and you know, we said bye. And then we went to Jordan for the first time and did what we now refer to as the fat desert schedule. Adukapra, it's been so many years that when I met Amla, I also thought like, it seems like we were shooting for some other film in some other lifetime. But strangely, that's the whole thing about that episode in the film also. The character on the flashback, what he was in Kerala, what did he leave behind, what was his family, what was his job, all that comes in small snippets of flashbacks through the first half as he's trapped in the desert. So idhula a beautiful dichotomy enna, in Kerala Najib was a sand miner. இந்த river bed la free dive பண்ணி underwater போய் river bed la irundhu sand எடுத்துட்டு வருவாங்க. It's now banned, it's now illegal, but at that time, early 90s, it was a big thing, for the construction sector. So what happens is, for people who do that job for about 4 to 6 hours every day, they are underwater. So his world is full of water. So all his memories are wet and watery and raining. And then there is this girl that he was absolutely in love with and married to. And when he left, his wife was 2 months pregnant. And then he lands up in this place where there is no moisture in the air even. So that dichotomy is beautiful actually in the narration.
Wow, I think ஒரு பெரிய எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸே இருந்திருக்கு இந்த படம் அப்படினு சொல்லலாம்.
Because I have shot from 18 feet underwater to the absolute most arid region of the Sahara Desert for this film. So
definitely I think on the 28th எல்லாருக்குமே தெரிஞ்சிரும். And coming back to your family, so எந்த அளவுக்கு ஃபேமிலி ஏன்னா அது another added flavor சொல்லலாம் bro, because வந்த பிறகு அந்த ஃபேமிலியோட சப்போர்ட்டா இருக்கட்டும், லவ் மேரேஜ், ஸோ அந்த ஒய்ஃபோட சப்போர்ட் எந்த அளவுக்கு இருந்தது உங்களுக்கு? என்ன சொன்னாங்க உங்களோட டிரான்ஸ்ஃபர்மேஷன் பார்த்துட்டு? என்ன திருப்பியும் போறாரு, திருப்பியும் இஸ் கமிங் பேக் and all that, she should have given a big support இல்ல?
Yeah, definitely. See, a fellow actor, maybe someone like Jimmy, will understand the process, like because it is, and I know when you are doing something like what I did for this film, it actually affects everything. It affects your emotional well-being, it affects your physical well-being, it actually affects your mental well-being. You're constantly sometimes disoriented, angry, because my overbearing memory about shooting for Aadujeevitham is being hungry. I'm always hungry because I'm never eating, right? So it takes a toll. And my wife is not from cinema. She was a journalist, like you know, she was a journalist. So, although she was a business journalist towards the fag end of her career. What is really gratifying for me is that she might not have understood what is happening inside of me, but she acknowledged that that is something that she will have to give me space for, that she will also have to share what I am going through. And that is not easy. And see, it's not a 40-day shoot. It's not like I'm going to shoot a film for 25 days and then it's over. Initially, we set out thinking it's a 2-year process, but it eventually became a 5-year-long process almost. And all through, she knew how I am. She knew that I'm a little bullheaded that way, that if I decide to do something, then I'm very stuck on it. And she gave me the support. And my daughter, my daughter was born in 2014. And so from there, my daughter's grown up watching me do this film. so yeah, I keep joking, this small anecdote that somewhere around 2017 or 18, I don't remember, Chiranjeevi sir had gotten in touch with me to play a role in Saira Narasimha Reddy. So that time I had told his team that I would have loved to come and do the film, because I'm a big fan. Chiranjeevi sir kodu oru padathula oru important role. I would have loved to do it, but unfortunately, sir, I've just committed to this film, which is like a big film and long commitment, and I have to grow my beard and all. So in between, I can't do anything else. I'm so sorry. And he said, of course he understood, and he's okay. He wished me luck and all that. And then later, Saira Narasimha Reddy happened, and it was 3-4 years later, it was ready for release. And Chiranjeevi sir came for the Saira Narasimha Reddy launch event in Cochin. And I was a guest for the event. So that day, he had come there. He had just bought the rights to my first directorial called Lucifer to do in Telugu. And there was this discussion in his team, about would you be interested in directing the Telugu version? And I'm telling them I would have loved to direct, but there is this film that I've said yes to, and it's this long film where I have to. They're like, but this is the same film you told us 4 years back. I said, yeah, unfortunately.
Same one.
Yeah. So I keep referring to this anecdote as a funny thing that happened. So imagine the time span that is gone. Yeah.
On the whole, இன்னைக்கு ஒரு படம் மக்கள் கிட்ட போய் சேரணும்னா the connect with the audience is very important. நான் ஸ்டார்டிங்கே சொன்ன மாதிரி உங்களை பொறுத்தவரைக்கும் நான் எப்படி பார்க்குறேன்னா, இப்போ the dubbing அப்படின்ற ஒரு விஷயம் ஆர்டிஸ்டே பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டாங்க. பட் உங்களை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் But why were you like எல்லாமே first of all எத்தனை language உங்களுக்கு தெரியும்?
இல்ல actually எனக்கு தமிழ் கூட நல்லா தெரியாது actually. நான்
தெரியாதா? நல்லா பேசுறீங்க.
I can when the director reads the script, I can listen to him and I can catch the intonation and the pronunciation and I can replicate it. But then replicating the line and the words is only one part of it. You have to emote the words, you have to emote the line. எனக்கு when I feel like when someone else is, so some of my films, when the YouTube rights and all get sold, or the satellite rights get sold in Hindi, I don't even know when they are dubbed and all. So someone else dubs, Sometimes in these Hindi channels or some YouTube channels and all, I see one of my old films in Hindi and all, and someone else is dubbed, and my performance looks completely different. Like it looks like something else only. That's because the voice is different. The voice is not leading the performance. So for me, the voice modulation is what leads the performance. Adu thappa irundhalu seriya irundhalu, if I make a mistake or if it's good or bad, I'd like to make them myself. Not leave it to someone else, not lose control of my performance. So I've tried. The first time I dubbed for a film in all 5 languages was Salar. Now I've tried for this film, I've dubbed in all 5 languages. It's something I wish I'm able to do for every film of mine, but I'm sure I'll not be able to do it for every film, because not every film, I'm assuming, will need to be dubbed in 5 different languages and all. So yeah.
Chennai அப்படினும்போது, what is your favorite food in Chennai and favorite spots?
I grew up in Chennai when I was very young. I mean, I went to kindergarten in Shrine Velankani School here, and my father we had a house in Westmambalam, Ashok Nagar. So early childhood memories murusa Chennai da, but after that I have not I've only come to Chennai for work, for shooting. So on the time you don't get to hang out a lot. So but I have this very fond memory. for my first Tamil film, Kanakandin, KV Anand's, it was his first film as a director also. We shot one whole night, a full night shooting mudinju. KV Anand sir and me were in a car. He took me to Murugan Idli Kadai. Murugan Idli, is it?
Yeah, Murugan Idli, correct.
It is still,
yes,
okay.
yes, it's there.
Still,
Yes.
yeah. So he took me to Murugan Idli Kadai and he bought me breakfast. I don't know if I was so hungry or I'm
என்ன
sure
பிரேக்ஃபாஸ்ட் ரொம்ப பிடிக்கும் ப்ரோ சென்னையில?
dosa idli. Ipo இன்னைக்கு கூட I had that only. Yeah. I came, usually I have this very uninteresting eggs and some oatmeal or something. But today, as soon as I came, I dialed room service and said, I had podi dosa and medu vada.
ஆஹா, சென்னையில் இந்த ஒரு விஷயம் நான் பார்க்கணும். ஏன்னா நீங்கள் ஒர்க்குக்காக வர அப்படின்னும் பொழுது ஏதாவது டைம் கிடைச்சா இந்த ஒரு இடம் போய் பார்க்கணும் அப்படின்னா எந்த ஸ்பாட்?
It doesn't look like that anymore. But what is now the OMR road, ECR? That stretch, the VGP beach. So I'll tell you why. My dad used to have a nice car long back. So when I have this memory that when he was home in Chennai and not shooting, and if it was a Sunday or something, and my brother and me had not gone to school, he would take us in the car and go to VGP beach. And there was this one stretch, those days, right? I mean, like laws were slack, and there's one stretch where he used to keep me on his lap and drive the car really fast and let me hold the steering wheel. So maybe that's what cultivated the love of driving in me. I love cars and I love to drive. So I had this memory about that stretch of road, sitting on my dad's lap and looking out through the windshield with the steering wheel in front. I mean, of course, he's holding the steering wheel. He'll just let me keep my hands on it. So for a small child, it feels like you're driving the car, right? And he used to drive really fast. So that imagery is stuck with me. So VGP Beach is a special memory.
Wow, super. Thank you so much. So கண்டிப்பாக அடுத்த வாட்டி நீங்கள் வந்தீங்கன்னா நம்ம VGP.
Definitely. Is it still like a tourist?
Yeah, அப்படியே தான் இருக்கு. இன்னும் அது VGP Golden Beachனா ரொம்ப ஃபேமஸ் தான்.
Oh, very good.
அடுத்த வாட்டி we are traveling. ஓகேங்களா?
Definitely.
கன்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணியாச்சு அடுத்த இன்டர்வியூ. But anyways, thank you so much, and as we said, we are looking up. It's not easy. It's quite a big journey, as I said. So with all our blessings, it's going to be a super duper hit movie because hard work never fails. I think goatlife, it's another life to the entire cast and crew. So என்ன சொல்ல விரும்புறீங்க to the audience?
எல்லா படத்துக்கு பின்னாலேயும் ஒரு பெரிய எஃபர்ட் இருக்கும், ஒரு பெரிய டீம் ஒர்க் இருக்கும். பட் இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ஜேர்னி I don't know how many films can claim to have. I don't know how many actors will have the privilege of being part of a journey like this. So இது ஒரு இண்டஸ்ட்ரியை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும், ஒரு சினிமாங்கிற ஒரு கிராஃப்டை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும், I truly believe we have created something very special, and I truly believe we have all been blessed to be part of something special. But most importantly, இந்த படம் நீங்கள் தியேட்டரில் போய் பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கும்போது இந்த படத்தில் பார்க்குற ஒவ்வொரு நிமிஷமும் ஒவ்வொரு விஷயமும் ஒரு மனிதன் நிஜமாவே வாழ்ந்த வாழ்க்கைங்கிற விஷயம் நீங்கள் மறக்கக்கூடாது. இது இட்ஸ் நஜீப்ஸ் லைஃப் தட் யூ ஆர் சீயிங் ஆன் த பிக் ஸ்க்ரீன், அண்ட் தெர் இஸ் நத்திங் மோர் இன்க்ரெடிபிள் தென் அ ஹியூமன் பீயிங் ஹூ சர்வைவ்ட் திஸ் அண்ட் ஃபாட் திஸ் அண்ட் கேம் அவுட் அட் தி அதர் எண்ட் டு பி ஏபிள் டு லிவ் அண்ட் டெல் த டேல்.
ஓகே ஆடியன்ஸ், உங்களுக்காக இப்போ ஜிம்மி சூப்பராக ஒரு விஷயம் சொல்ல போகிறாரு. So I'll teach you in Tamil.
Okay, go for it.
March 28th.
March 28th.
Theaterல. நம்ம படம். goatlife. Aadujeevitham. Release ஆக போகுது. மறக்காம தியேட்டர்ல பாருங்க. So I'm just telling the audience, like March 20th, the movie is getting released.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Super, sir?
Yes, indeed.
One more time.
What?
Theaterல பாருங்க.
Slowly.
Theaterல
பாருங்க.
Thank you, Jimmy.
അതെ, പകുതി പണം കൊണ്ട് വീട് പണിയാം. ബാക്കി പകുതി പണം പലിശരഹിതമായി EMI സ്കീമിൽ 50 മാസം കൊണ്ട് തിരിച്ചടച്ചാൽ മതി.